Hey, what's good? It's your boy Blunts Moses. Yo, how's it going, everyone? It's me, your boy Blunts. This is my GDQ submission video for my favorite category, 102. So the game is Crash 2. Well, it's NST, Insane Trilogy, but it's Crash 2, the remaster, and it's full completion, 102%. So it's like the original 100%, but it has 2 more percent for the relics that they added in, which is pretty cool of them to do because it allows us to have this cool speed run with all these 1 cycles and all that. So let me run this video and I'll do my best to explain things as we go along. So this is a full completion run, 102%. So in Crash Bandicoot, you get full completion by collecting all the crystals, all the gems, and unlocking all the secret exits, beating all the bosses. And now in NST there's also relics. So every level you have to get a relic. You can get them in Sapphire, Gold, or Platinum. You have to get them at least Gold, but Platinum also works. So we start off the run in Warp 1. We go to Crash Dash level 5. So this level, we're gonna see some speed tech that I'm gonna be doing right away, and it's called hop sliding. So you'll notice my slide spins are normally kind of slow, but like they're super fast right now, and I have this crazy fast slide spin chain going right now, and like now this is like the regular speed. So you'll notice that it's like significantly faster when I have the hop slide speed going as opposed to the regular slide spinning speed. Now, things to note about this level in particular is that it's the iconic backwards level, the first one that shows up in Crash 2. So the boulder's chasing you, so you have pressure to go fast the whole time, but we're gonna go fast anyway. It's a speed run, obviously. This is a cool bonus. There's a cool strat here where we do a TNT spin where it explodes, and that's not intended. Like, you're not supposed to be able to do that. You're not supposed to be able to spin and explode it without getting hurt. So that's a cool thing that we found that we incorporate into the speed run. I didn't get that hop slide over there, so I'm just going through this level normally at this point. And other things to note about this level are that any box that's not inside the tunnel, the boulder will break for you. But these last few boxes coming up right here at the end, I'm gonna break myself because the boulder doesn't quite get here fast enough. So I just wanna get them all broken so when I show up here for the gem, it's there for me. So we'll talk more about the details of the picking up the gem in a little bit. So back to hop slides. So there's generally 3 different kinds of hop slides you can trigger. Now, what is a hop slide in the first place? So when you do a slide spin jump, which is like a small little jump kind of animation thing, if you cancel that animation with a slide, you get this super speed and in your slide, and then you can do slide spins and they'll all have that super speed and you can just keep chaining it. So that's what hop sliding is. So there are 3 different ways we can trigger it. That's the way I'm categorizing it, at least. One way is off scenery, like we just did. Another way is off of hills, like these. I'm about to do one right here. Okay, I actually didn't get it, that's funny. But yeah, so scenery slides, hill slides, and there's also bonk slides, where you actually intentionally get Crash to bonk his head to cut your jump early, because that also lets you cancel the animation with the slide. So those are the 3 general ways we'll be triggering hop slides throughout the run. So this is a cool little secret section in Turtle Woods that you unlock by body slamming that one thing we body slammed down into. So it's a little harder than the regular level. We trigger a scenery slide right there, go past this turtle, weave through these turtles, whatever, do this really hard bonus right here. So another thing, so the basics of the game is that each level is full of boxes, and if you break every single box in the level, you will receive a gem at the end. We can call it the box gem. And some levels will have a bonus gem as well. on top of that. So we'll get to that when it's appropriate. I'll talk more about the bonus gems. But for now, we can just observe all of these hop slides I'm trying to trigger all over the place, because this level is definitely full of them. And yeah, I just go back whenever I miss any box or anything. Like that, I missed that box, I went back for it. Missed that crystal, I went back for it. You know, just typical things that happen when you're going fast. You know, you just, oh, I didn't see that giant shiny crystal there. Better go back for it. Okay, so right there, that gem, you'll notice I actually stopped for half a second to pick it up, and then I continued my hop slide. That's another speed tech we have. It's associated with hop sliding. It's actually neutral hop sliding. It's where you can just stop, like stop in motion, and just stand there for a second, and then continue your slide spin chain with the increased movement from hop slides. So it's really useful because of how long that tunnel is. Being able to maintain those extra 2 slides afterwards is actually a huge time save, especially as it adds up level to level. So this is Snow Go, the first snow ice level, featuring everyone's favorite ice physics. So a couple things you notice here. First of all, I skipped those holes. So sometimes you can hop slide right over holes without having to jump. In this level in particular, you need the triple mask, or you don't need it, but it makes it a lot more consistent if you have triple mask for them to work. You get a bonk slide right here. And then another thing to note is that on ice, the fastest movement is not actually slide spinning, it's just continuously sliding, just mashing the slide button. So whenever there's extended fields of ice, that's what I'm going to be doing, and you'll see that throughout the run. So we're just continuing through here, grabbing all the boxes, get this, get a quick little hobby as we fall down, go back for that because it likes to trick you by putting things behind the screen. So this triple mask form is super good because it lets you break all these boxes and deal with all this really quickly. So now we have everything. You trigger a little scenery slide here, snipe that guy into those boxes, another scenery slide, do the neutral hop slide to pick up the gem, and continue the fast motion afterwards, and that is Snow Go. Really cool level. Really annoying if you die in it, but luckily it's pretty early in the run, so it's not that bad. So the routing is very specific, definitely very well thought out. So up next is the pits, level 4, and we make sure to go into this next while we still have these 2 masks. So when you get 2 masks, when you get a third one, you get the invincibility, the triple mask form we call it. You saw it a little bit in that last level, but it lets you basically not get hurt by anything, and it breaks all the boxes in a small radius around you. So it's just really useful, especially in speedrunning. It's especially useful in this intro of the level here because you don't have to stop to jump over these birds, and you can just keep your hop slide going. So you just see like a bunch of really cool scenery slides all over the place in this level that I'll trigger, and then there are backups all over the place, like all these hills that you can use to get a hop slide if you drop one, because they're pretty easy to drop. And in terms of the level itself, we just went to the right side of the fork to grab those 2 boxes, and then we turned back, we did the whole left side. Now we're going back into the right side, triggering another hop slide on the scenery right there. Then we try to weave between these turtles. I dropped my hop slide there, so I do a backup on that hill. We got another one here, so we just keep it going, keep it going. I kind of had a little fear there. I didn't think I would fit between that turtle and the hole, and so I decided to just jump. I went for a little backwards hill slide there, but I didn't trigger it, so I just keep going. That gap is pretty difficult to skip over. So this bonus is actually really hard, especially considering the fact that it's in the first warp room. But we damage abuse through those TNT, it saves a little bit of time. There's a specific technique we go through here. So these metal crates, you're supposed to only be able to break them by body slamming. That's the intended way the developers wanted you to break them, is to body slam. but if they're on top of other boxes like that, you can actually just slide into the boxes underneath and they break on top of your head, and that's a good way to save time. Okay, and sometimes I guess the audio will cut out because shoutouts to Twitch for censoring audio. That is actually, it's funny because I specifically listened to a playlist that had things without copyright claims, but it is what it is. We'll just listen to my beautiful voice for now. There was a really nice bonk slide at the end of the pits there, and I'm pretty proud of myself for getting it, but you know, we'll keep going. We'll enter the pits again later, you know, during the relic. So coming up here is going to be this really, really cool thing. It's the Turtle Woods 1 cycle. So remember I was talking about those bonus gems? So here's going to be our first relic and our first bonus gem. So actually, the gimmick here is that if you break 0 boxes, if you ignore every box in this level, you get the blue gem at the end. And we're also going to go for the gold relic at the same time. So notice I'm just going to be triggering these hop slides all over the place while avoiding every single box. And the time we have to beat to get the gold relic here is 56:87. So I'm just going to go through the level, and you know, typically you want to just get as many hop slides as possible all over the place, because you're really not supposed to be able to get this gold relic time without speed shoes, which you get at the end of the game after you beat the last boss, Cortex. So the only reason we're able to get it this early is because of the speed tech hop sliding. And so if you trigger enough of them, then, and you don't mess up too much like I did right here, then you can make it all the way to the end of the level before 56:87. So you see, the blue gem was there, I grabbed it, I made it in time before the 56:87, so I got the gold relic, and that is the 1 cycle. That's the first 1 cycle, but it's a really exciting one because your run gets to die at 10 minutes if you miss it. So, but yeah, we used to, before hop sliding was a thing, we used to like do that 1 cycle super late into the run with speed shoes, and it was really tight, and so it's just a really nice thing to have this early in the run, because it also lets you 1 cycle this level, Hang 8, which is the first water level. Those 2 hop slides we just got, the one off the starting platform and the one off the top step, those are pretty much the only ones. There's one really small one in the middle of the level, and then there's one that's really hard to get. It's very inconsistent at the very end. Most of this level is just straight platforming or riding on the jet board, which, by the way, has super amazing control in NST compared to the OG, so I'm pretty happy about that. It's very nice to use. Grab this crystal. So you notice there's a timer going on at the bottom right now. So the thing is, if you reach the end of the level before the timer hits 0, then you get another bonus gem. This one is just a clear gem, but it is still a gem, and we're collecting everything, right? So here we go. You'll notice I stopped collecting checkpoints a little while back. I tried to trigger that hop slide right there, I didn't get it, but we got the gem. So now we death abuse, go back to the last checkpoint we got, which is right before the bonus. And the reason we don't just get all the boxes and then go to the end is because we can't do it in time. So now we're going to do this bonus really quick, do this little cool strat where you slide underneath, very fun stuff. Yeah, and we just kind of go through. So that's the bonus, and now, so you see this platform right here, it's colored blue. It's the blue gem platform, so you need to have the blue gem to unlock this platform for use. So that's why we did Turtlewoods first and then this level, because Turtlewoods gave us the blue gem. So now the gem routes, we call them, they're typically a lot more difficult than the rest of the level. So in this case is no exception. This is this jet board section right here is super difficult, very specific. You have to weave in between these mines. Not once, but twice actually. But the first time just to trigger that exclamation point box, which filled out these boxes for us to break over here on these 3 boost pads. And then again, on our way out, break that box, which triggers to destroy all the nitro boxes in the level. And now we just finish up, just going to the end like before, but this time collecting all the boxes along the way. And so the most important thing in this level is to avoid the good suck. So you saw those whirlpools, they really will do it to you. So you just gotta avoid them, you know, and try to trigger a hop slide here. Don't get it. It's all good. It's a really hard one to get. And like I said, it's super inconsistent. I get it in like maybe 20% of my runs. Like I don't ever think that I'm gonna get it. Maybe in the future I'll find a more consistent way to get it, but as of right now, it's just not the way it is. So that's Warp 1. That's really cool stuff. We're about to see the first boss of the game, who's a really cool boss that I'm sure we all know and love, Ripperoo. Yeah, that same Ripperoo who was in Crash 1. He came back for Crash 2, and now he's the first boss. Oh, the music came back. Thanks, Twitch. So, a lot of people will say this boss is super easy, super boring, whatever. It's an auto-scroller, ha ha ha. This boss is awesome, okay? I think this boss is the perfect example of a first boss. This is like the best first boss of all time. This boss, when I was a child and I was playing this game, like, I felt so satisfied, like, learning what to do and being able to do it. And it's like, yeah, it's not really challenging at all, but it's just, that's good. Like, it doesn't have to be challenging to be satisfying, and it's like you just learn. It just teaches you kind of a way to conceptualize the game in general. Like the TNT, like it's you can go close to them, but you have to be careful for when they actually do explode. And the nitro you can just never go onto. It's like a metaphor for the game as a whole. So do we get the crotch slam? We got the crotch slam. The run is blessed. That's how it works. If you get the crotch slam at the end of Ripperoo, the run is blessed. That's just undisputable logic right there. So that's boss 1, that's Warp 1. Really good stuff. Moving on up, riding up on this Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, going up to Warp 2. And we're gonna start with Crash Crush. So Crash Crush, I like to start with this level because it's super hard, so I can reset if I mess it up. But also, just because the routing works out really well this way. So it's another backwards level, kind of like Crash Dash. Oh, we got a slick little hop slide there to start it off. And there's gonna be a little hill we're gonna go down here, so I try to trigger one here. Got it, yeah, cool. There's a hill here, but it cuts short like immediately. There's no point in doing anything there. And so that's the new gimmick we have here, the electric fence. So that is probably one of the most annoying, if not the most annoying gimmicks, whatever you want to call it, obstacles throughout the game as a whole. I gotta say it's a huge challenge because even when you get good at this game, it's still really hard. You can still die to it no matter what. It is what it is. So I'm just going through this level, and so things to note. Generally in the backwards levels, there's just the two main ways to trigger hop slides. Is the hills like you saw, or also like that, bonking off the sides of the insides of the tunnels. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but the boulders will break every box that is not inside of those tunnels. So the boxes that are in the tunnels, you have to break them all yourself. But anything outside is fair game to just leave for the boulder to take care of for you. So we do this nice little bonus. It's really easy. Taking it easy right here. It's basically like a break from the game right here in this bonus. There's a little bit of speed tech right here. We kind of move downward on the Z-axis a little bit to break all three of those boxes at once with a side spin almost. So again, breaking all of them inside the tunnel, but outside the tunnel we leave it. Grab these speed boosts or just completely miss them because that's also a fun thing to do. Avoid this fence, and here comes the here comes the kicker. This is the worst one in the whole level. Maintaining control of crash while moving at hopslide speed and also not falling in any of those pits while you're zigzagging all over the place like that is super hard. So pretty proud of myself for that one. So that's Crash Crush level 9. Got that box gem. Moving on. Up next we got Barrett. So Barrett, you see our little friend right there, Polar the bear, very creative name for sure. We're gonna be riding on top of him. So this is a Crash 2's animal riding level, riding on Polar. And so there's specific speed tech for this as well. The two main functions you have are to jump and to boost. And it's not like a boost that you hold the whole time, it's a short-term boost. You just press it once and then it gives you a boost. So the speed tech involves chaining them together, like boost jumping. And there's a couple different ways to boost jump. If you hold the jump, it's a bigger jump. But if you just tap the jump, then it's more like a boosted low jump. That's very useful if you're trying to collect all the boxes, which we are, of course. Do a slick jump over both of these statues here. Weave around this whale. Is that a whale? I hope that's a whale, otherwise I'll sound stupid. Those 3 boxes are pretty easy to get in this version. I know they were a real pain in the OG. But yeah, that's Barrett. Went pretty well for us. Another thing to note, well, we're about to enter Barrett again, so this is still relevant. But yeah, we're about to re-enter it to do the relic. Now the reason I do this generally is because the difference between doing this level with and without speed shoes is less than 2 seconds. And what I was about to touch on before is that the bear riding levels have an increased chance of input drops, which is when you press a button and it doesn't register. So given that that's how it is, I like to get this level out of the way earlier in the run in case my inputs get dropped and it ends up killing me or something. Because it's either I do it now, like 20 minutes into the run, or I do it all the way at the end, 2 hours into the run. And obviously if something like that is going to happen, I'd prefer it to happen now so I can reset over it. Obviously it wouldn't matter in the marathon, but yeah, so this is another time trial. We don't have to collect all the boxes. You just go to the end as fast as possible without dying. Anytime you hit around the bottom right for exactly as many seconds as is written on the box. The time for gold here is not tight at all. That's why you don't see me like specifically going for any boxes. It is different for each level how tight it is, but for this one you can pretty much get platinum every time no matter what you do, as long as you're going fast. So level went pretty well, no dropped inputs or anything, so that was great. That was good stuff. So that's Barrett. We won't see Barrett anymore, but there will be more bear riding levels, so don't worry, Polar will still be around. Okay, so here's Air Crash, the second water level. This is one of the 2 levels in this run that we're actually not gonna get the box gem on our first entry. We're just gonna get the crystal. So you're gonna quick hop slide off that top step. But yeah, we're just gonna get this first checkpoint, and then we're gonna ignore all these boxes. Well, as many as we're not getting any of them intentionally anyway. That's what I mean. And so we're just gonna go all the way to the crystal, and then Death Abuse. Notice we skipped this second checkpoint. So there's another thing I neglected to mention earlier, is that there's actually a secret exit in this level. So right here, you notice I'm gonna make this jump on these boxes and onto this random platform, and it just ports you out of there. So that's a secret exit, and each secret exit gives you 1 percentage point toward completing the game. So you actually have to do all of them. But also on top of the percentage, it unlocks Snow Go Part 2 for us. Now Snow Go was level 2, which we did earlier in Warp 1, but this is a secret area that if you go through it successfully, you get the red gem, which is really good for us because we need that. And this section is just full of ice physics, and this is just a really horrible section for the speedrun because not only are ice physics just super wonky and inconsistent, but also this level in particular, for some reason, has a very high chance of dropping your inputs. So I think everything goes smoothly here. Everything's gone smoothly so far. Okay, so right there, my momentum just suddenly stopped me at one of those penguins. I had to react on the fly there. So now that I got stopped a little bit, I don't know if I make this cycle past these. Okay, I just barely made that. You notice the thing stomped down right after I passed it. Get a hop slide off that metal box. We ignore this mask box because when you trigger the third mask form, it actually stops you in the air for like a second or two. Or I don't know how long it is, but it's some time, and we don't want to stop at all because we don't need it. We don't need to break any of these boxes. We just need to exit the level at this point. Usually we trigger a scenery slide to go through this tunnel, but I completely missed it, so I decided to just keep going and not turn back. But yeah, that's Snow Go Part 2. We got the red gem there. Very nice. So now that we have the red gem, kind of like Hangate had the blue gem platform, we're gonna unlock any red gem platforms there are. And guess what? There's one right here in this level we're about to do right now called Snowbiz, level 6. So now that we have the red gem, we can fully complete Snowbiz. So again, the red gem platform will be significantly harder than the regular level. So we just get all these boxes here. So TNT, you just trigger the one and it'll explode in like 3 seconds, and everything around it will explode too. So just jumping on that one made sure all 4 of those boxes exploded. So that's why we just hit it and didn't turn back. We got this mask form right here, which conveniently lets us completely ignore the difficulty of these porcupines, who usually you have to be careful with for their spikes. Ride this red gem platform, do this secret section here, get a little scenery, or no, that was a hill slide actually. So yeah, it conveniently ends right after the porcupines end, so it's really nice for us. We trigger that TNT, body slam these metal crates, try to break these boxes right here, trigger these couple of TNT stacks, get the rest of these boxes. So this section is all like super ramped up in difficulty compared to the rest of the level. There's a lot of boxes here. We try to just get through it as quickly as possible. Slide spin. Whenever we're not hop sliding, the fastest form of movement is slide spinning. It's faster than slide jumping. It's faster than anything you can think of. It's just the fastest. Until we have speed shoes, that is. Once we have speed shoes, slide jumping becomes the fastest, other than hop sliding. So you notice we lost a mask there. That was not intentional. The icicle just was a little bit faster than I thought it was going to be, or something like that. Whatever you want to believe. Get these 4 boxes. So again, ice physics messing with us, but as long as we don't die, it's all good. That's how I see it. There's these 3 boxes hanging up in the air over here. That's some interesting physics, by the way, that they're just hanging in the air. Tried to get a hill slide there, didn't get it. This is a nice cheeky little bonus. These ice, those little slabs of ice are really difficult to deal with, but you know, I made my way. Nice little damage abuse here, because I'm not waiting for those TNT. So that's why it's important to go into that with a mask. Ideally, I wouldn't have lost my other mask earlier. Die to that penguin just for good measure. No, but seriously, the penguin hitboxes are super broken. They're just awful. But try to get this bonk slide off this crystal right here. I didn't quite get it. It's okay. Get a scenery slide off that thing though that the stone is rolling on. That's a nice one to get. So we got that box gem, and that's no biz. Very nice, very nice. Alright, so up next we got the Eel Deal, which is level 10. Now the Eel Deal is the first sewer level, which you may or may not have heard of, but they're quite infamous, as far as I know, for many reasons. We try to trigger some hob slides here. So the eels electrocute the water down there, so when it's electric, if you touch it, you'll take damage. But not only will you take damage, but it would also be a super long electrocution animation, which we try to avoid. So if we need to take damage, if we need to death abuse or something, which we will soon, we try to take damage off of other things, like these nitro. That's a better damage animation, excuse me, because it's really quick. It's like jumping on something, you know? And that's why we did that one too. Now we have no masks left because we're gonna kill ourselves really soon. Trigger hob slides off the sides of the insides of these pipes. Grab the green gem and then immediately run into the side of that sewer rat where it has its spikes popping out, so we just die. That's like the fastest way to grab that and then death abuse. So that was a pretty good green gem grab. There was a box inside that room with all those nitro. So we, in the OG you had to go break it, but in the NST, when you pop the nitro detonator, the nitros will actually explode, so any boxes around them will also explode. So it's pretty convenient in terms of speedrunning to not have to go get those extra boxes. So this is a nice calm little bonus. You just break all the boxes, slide down. We try to avoid bouncing on bouncy crates ever. That's like a slow thing to do. We just try to spin them if possible. Slide into that. Again, I was talking about sliding underneath the metal crates earlier. That way we only had to body slam once there instead of twice. Okay, I made a mistake. I didn't mean to slide into that barrel. That was a really risky move I made there. I like it. I like what I'm seeing for myself, I say. So just a couple body slams here for these crates. Go down to the section. Introduction to the hangrail, or monkey bars, if you will. So there's lava on the bottom. You can't skip it unless you have a mask or something. So you just have to climb on these very slow monkey bars and avoid those spiky dudes, which you cannot hit. You can't jump on them, you can't spin them, you can't touch them. You just have to avoid them entirely. So here I'm just waiting for these two spiky dudes to go down so I can slide jump between them. And that is the eel deal. And we'll see more sewer levels soon. We'll see them soon, unfortunately. But, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, so that's Warp 2. Really good stuff. So now we're gonna go into boss number 2. So notice here, I'm actually gonna wait an extra second before I enter the boss portal. And that's because if you enter the portal too quickly, there's a glitch in NST that'll completely lock you out of the boss fight, and you'll have to go down to a different warp room, enter one of those levels, exit, and then come back up, and then you'll be able to re-enter. So you lose about 30 seconds if you get that glitch. So I make sure to wait an extra second if I'm too close to the portal when it first appears to avoid that. So here's boss number 2, Komodo Bros. It's also an easy one, but I think it's more fun, it's more interactive. It's like, you're just basically just avoiding getting hit by either Komodo Mo or Komodo Joe. I forget which one's which. But yeah, one of them's the skinny guy that goes spinning around anywhere, and the other one's the more rounded guy who's throwing scimitars or whatever it is they are. And phase 3 here combines the both of the challenges together, and then the time save techniques in this boss is just the angle at which you hit the skinny guy affects the angle at which he will project, basically. So if you get a good angle, he'll go right into the other guy. If you get a bad angle, he'll, you know, make his way around and stuff like that. So you just gotta get your angle right. That's how you get a faster Komodo Bros. So now moving on to Warp 3. We're gonna start with Road to Ruin, level 14. So this is actually a very, very cool level. And it has the hardest skip in the game. Right at the start. So typically, you're supposed to unlock a secret entrance for a casual player to go get these other boxes here, but we just go over here and get this very specific jump, and that's super hard. I know I got a first try in this video, but like it's super hard, and you just go over here to this huge stack of boxes. I jumped on a TNT there, and it breaks all 32 of those boxes, and then we just make our way back here and do the regular level. So that's the first Road to Ruin skip. It's a really, really hard skip, the hardest one in the game. It's a very specific angle. You have to extend your glitch high jump as far as possibly can. So speaking of glitch high jumps, let's get on that topic. So when you slide jump, you could also call it a high jump. In the OG Crash Bandicoot games, well, I guess 2 and 3, they if you spun right after doing a slide jump, it would gain a little bit of extra height, so it would be called a glitched high jump. And the developers of NST put that into this game as well, but it wasn't a glitch. Obviously, they intended to put it in, but we just still call it glitch high jump. I guess as a shout out to the OG, it's just the name that stuck. We always call it glitch high jump, so that's what it is. So just like a slide jump with a little bit of extra height, and it lets you go a little bit further. So there was a second gem in this level that's at the end of the death route, so we actually get it during the relic, during the time trial, so we're gonna one cycle it at that point, but it also comes with a cool skip. And then that bonus, we weren't supposed to do it that quickly either. I don't know if you noticed, but there were all these exclamation point boxes we were supposed to hit, but we decided to just do a glitch high jump and skip all of that nonsense. So that's Road to Ruin. Really cool level. Really cool level. We'll be back. We'll be back in that one for the relic and the death route gem soon. I'll explain death routes when we get to the next one. So we can just focus on what's in front of us for now. So Unbearable. This is the third backwards chase level. So this one, instead of being chased by a boulder, you're actually being chased by a large bear, presumably the mother of Polar, who we've been riding. So I got these nice hob slides in this level. You notice I did those 2 hole skips at the start, which were really awesome. I dropped it because I got stuck in the fence, which is a little unfortunate, but we still got most of that going on for us, so this has been a decent level. Get a little backwards hill slide right here. You can chain it for a while. Okay, I accidentally went into this mine, which is a rookie mistake. Unbelievable that I did that. Backwards hill slide. So you grab this checkpoint, you can just keep chaining it. I kind of dropped the spin there, but I did a backup hob slide off that little hill right there. So the bear actually unlocked a secret area for us when he fell through she fell through the bridge. I didn't mean to take damage there. Actually, I wanted to get a triple mask for him when I broke that mask box right there, because then I would be able to break these 3 crates without body slamming, but you know, these things happen. These are the backup strats. So that, me taking damage here, was all intentional actually, because there are 2 more masks in this section, and I don't want to trigger the triple mask for him now. Now that I'm past that body slam crate, those body slam crates, there's no reason for me to have a triple mask form anywhere else here, because it's not actually faster, and it takes time to do that animation when you get it. So just taking intentional damage to avoid getting that. We do a glitch high jump to get up on this section of the bonus early. Not supposed to do that. That wasn't the intended way for you to complete this bonus. So that's a cool little strat. Try to trigger this hob slide here. We go around here. Okay, I turned a little bit early and fell into the hole. A little unfortunate. These things happen though. This is the risky side of hob slides, that you move so fast. It's really difficult to keep control of yourself. Holes are really your biggest enemy, especially ones that come out of nowhere. So you'll notice I'm constantly pressing the button to see my box count in this section, and that's because it's kind of glitchy and sometimes the bear doesn't break the boxes there. And I've had a decent amount of runs die because I didn't notice the boxes didn't break there or something. So yeah, you just ride polar backwards a little bit here, really cool little section. And yep, try to trigger a hop slide here off the little center platform, which is cool. And hey, why are we going backwards? Well, Polar is still here, so we have to go back and visit our little friends, and what do you know, it's another secret exit. So what did this unlock? Last time we got Snogo. This time we got a new level, actually. One of the 2 secret levels in this game. This one's called Totally Bear. And guess what? It's a bear riding level. And the cool thing is, we get to do a 1 cycle. So this is basically just a bear riding level, but in the dark. Try to trigger a hop slide off that starting platform, grab the time trial clock, and now we begin our journey. So most of this level is pretty straightforward. A couple of things I will note is that right here, my boost input got dropped. So that's why it looked like I just jumped straight into the water. I pressed R1 and then X, but the R1 didn't register. So all that happened was an X, a jump, and I didn't go far enough. So this is what I was touching on before when I was talking about Barrett. See right there, I also got my boost dropped. So I wasn't used to these, to my distance from that thing, so that's why I died again. But I think the level should go smoothly from here. No more dropped inputs. Luckily, both of those were early on in the level, because you know, in a time trial, no matter where you die, you'll go back to the very beginning of the level. So if you get a dropped input all the way at the end, it's very, very punishing. So there are these 4 boxes right here that are very poorly positioned, and you need like a frame perfect timing on your boost jump to get all 4 of them to break. So it's actually really awesome that I got it first try here. I mean, not considering those 2 deaths before. The 4 boxes was first try, I mean. And yeah, that's also another reason I do this time trial early on in the run, is because I know how those 4 boxes work, and it's actually very likely that it won't be first try because of just how hard it is. I said it was frame perfect. I didn't measure it with science, but it feels frame perfect. It feels very easy to not get them. Most people agree with me. But yeah, so that's the 1 cycle. We got all the boxes and we got the relic. Got the platinum even. So like I said before, gold or platinum work for getting the percentage points. As long as it's not sapphire, you are good. So that's Totally Bear, level 26 if you will, because it's the first extra one. So that's cool, very nice. Now we make our way onto our Reese's Peanut Butter Cup and ride it up all the way back up to Warp 3. So now we're gonna go into the next water level. I believe the final water level. Level 11, Plant Food. Aptly named, because it's very likely that you die to plants in this level. So this beginning section is super intense. Trigger this hop slide, get a slide jump here, glitch high jump again, glitch high jump again, slide jump, and you know, just all this platforming is super intense, super specific. That is just an awesome section, honestly. Like I used to hate how hard it was, but like it's just the most intense platforming in this game, and it's all jam-packed into like 10-15 seconds. And yeah, that's the start of Plant Food, and the rest is just pretty standard jet board and the platforming. I don't know if you could even call this platforming. This is more like just running. So again, there's a timer at the bottom right. So the bonus gem in this level is also triggered by reaching the end before the timer runs out. But this bonus gem is actually the yellow gem, not just a clear gem like before. So once we get this, we'll be able to use any yellow gem platforms in the game. So there it is. We made it in time. Trigger a hop slide to go back out, and we respawn at the last checkpoint. You notice we skipped the very last checkpoint because we only got enough boxes up to this point. So you notice this bonus. You could actually complete this bonus and make it to the end of the level in time to get the yellow gem. I've tested it, but actually, you can't get the gem. It doesn't let you get the gem if you enter the bonus, even if you're fast enough. So we don't do it until after. That's basically it. So we try very hard to weave in between these two plants to avoid losing that mask. Unfortunately, I did not weave properly, so I lost my mask. So now I have to do this the long way, which is killing all 4 of these plants. But in fact, I became the level itself. I became plant food. No, okay, so I died there. So luckily, it was not too long after the checkpoint. So yeah, if you don't have a mask for this section, you have to do these longer strats. It's like a 10-second time save if you have the mask, because there's a glitch you can do to break those 2 boxes on the left by damage abusing through the plant. But it is what it is. Maybe I'll get that when I do the run in GDQ. So that's it. We collect the box gem. I tried to trigger a hop slide off of that little gem platform again, but it didn't work out this time. But it was a pretty good level overall, other than that death becoming plant food. But I feel like it was worth it, just so we could say the name is accurate. Let's say it was worth it. So now we have the yellow gem. Now we enter level 12, sewer or later. Told you there was gonna be another sewer level. Sewer or later. Haha. Anyway, this level is the worst. I really, really hate this level. And that is definitely one of the reasons why, but definitely not a major reason. Anyway, so I'm trying to trigger a hop slide off this pipe so that you can skip that flamethrower dude, because if you have the hop slide speed, you can go immediately right underneath him and go right through him. Otherwise, you have to either wait for him to stop doing his flamethrower animation, which takes 6 seconds, or you have to wait like 1 cycle and then kind of weave around him. Either way, slow. Notice that I spun as I landed on those bouncy arrow crates, which actually makes you not bounce. So we just grab that gem and then death abuse. Did a very specific jump there to avoid waiting for that flamethrower guy. Now we do the bonus. Very nice programming and physics and all that. Okay, do a quick little double slide here to get right out instead of getting stuck crawling. Do a glitch high jump to avoid having to do the entirety of this bonus as it was intended. And yeah, it's really nice, really fun stuff. Alright, now we continue through sewer later. You'll notice there's these fan blades here. We spin that scrubbing guy, whatever they're called. I don't know what they're called. We just spin them into the blades and then kind of weave in between in the hole that's remaining. So with triple mask form, we break every box, even the metal crates, anything that's around us. So that's what we're doing, and we're trying to trigger these hop slides. Oh, okay. Well, the video froze for a sec, but that's okay. So yeah, we just there was a crystal over there. That's what I grabbed. I grabbed the crystal in a couple of boxes. Oh no. Well, that's a little unfortunate. Thank you, Twitch. Shoutouts to Twitch. Twitch.tv. Well, hopefully this will be better soon. If not, I'll Twitch.tv. Alright, let's skip a little ahead, I guess. Huh. messed up? Okay, that looks fine. Okay, so if I go back here. Okay, this is where we were. Let's see what happens. Okay, wait, it worked. It works now. What? You know what? Shoutouts to Twitch.tv. Shoutouts to Twitch.tv. Anyway, so we got the crystal. We got this box. Okay, a little unfortunate. That's super unfortunate. That was that long animation electrocution I was talking about before. Trigger a little hop slide here, a little hop slide there. So that's sooner or later. Sorry about the technical difficulties. I don't know. I just highlighted this video like not that long ago, so maybe that's why that happens. So I'll take the responsibility, I guess. But hopefully you guys aren't too upset about that one. Alright, so next up, level 13, Bear Down. So this is another bear riding level. So right off the bat, I trigger a hop slider here, because this intro is actually pretty long. So this is the second level where I don't get the box gem in my first pass. So I briefly mentioned this before when we were doing Air Crash, that there were 2 levels where I just get the crystal, not the box gem, until later. This is the second one. And the reason is, it saves a little bit of time to do the 1 cycle. And that's because there is a secret exit at the end of this level. So basically I'm doing this in any percent fashion. So just kind of just like only getting the crystal and then boost jumping as often as possible. Not really worrying about any boxes. Definitely avoid these nitro here. And yeah, so that's Bear Down. Nice level. So instead of going out like normal, we just go straight backwards onto these platforms and take the secret exit. And that's Bear Down. First pass. We will re-enter it later for the gem and relic. So that unlocks Air Crash Part 2, which it's funny because we were just talking about Air Crash. But yeah, we're gonna go into that Air Crash portal a little bit later. We're gonna do it. Actually, I said a little bit later. We're gonna do it way later when we have the speed shoes, which we get after defeating the last boss, Cortex. So right now we're up to boss number 3, Tiny Tiger, who's basically Crash 2's version of Koala Kong, the guy who skips leg day. And this boss fight is very, very similar to Q*bert. So I don't know if you've ever played Q*bert, but it was an arcade game. Well, it still is an arcade game, but basically he's just following you around. You manipulate him into going exactly where you want him to, and then the way this boss fight works is that you know the number of turns it takes before one of them will start blinking red, and then you kind of manipulate him into jumping onto a platform right as it falls down. So I kind of got bad RNG here because my strategy is typically to jump into the center, because then it's most likely that I will be able to jump to anything around me within 1 hop, but there's a 1 in 9 chance that the red platform ends up being the center platform, which is exactly what happened. So then I had to use some backup strats there, but it was still a fast Tiny overall. So that was a good boss fight. So now we're up to Warp 4, which is largely considered the hardest warp. Very punishing stuff here. But actually the first level we're gonna do, level 20, which is ironically the last level in the warp, is actually the easiest one. Well, it's the easiest for us at least. It might be decently hard for a casual player because these beehives we're passing right now have 5 bees come out of them, and that's pretty difficult to deal with if you're not going fast. So you notice I triggered a hop slide off of that beehive. That's some pretty cool stuff we can do. That's the scenery slide. So you see this where the ground is like pink right here? So when the ground is pink, you can actually, when you spin, it burrows you underneath the ground. So I tried to get this skip over that electric fence right there. That's the only one in the game where you're actually allowed to glitch high jump over it, to skip it. I just kind of didn't aim properly with my angle, so I got shocked anyway. But I'll get another chance during the relic later. So yeah, so the pink grounds lets you burrow underneath, and that's like the casual player's escape from the bees. So we go onto this nitro staircase, which is not real. They're not really nitro. We didn't explode. It's actually just a secret place where we go get the purple gem, which is conveniently super early on before things actually get difficult, and then we just death abuse. Don't know what they were thinking putting it so early on, but okay. So we just go right back to that checkpoint and continue the level. So here we go, just slide spinning through the level. Again, like I said before, slide spinning is the fastest form of movement that's not hop sliding. This is a very, very simple bonus. Make our way through, get these speed boosts, spin this hammer dude, get that crystal, just keep slide spinning and jumping when we have to, you know. Again, another beehive on the pink stuff so we can get a hop slide off of it. Very cool. Trigger that, and that is behaving. Try to trigger a hop slide at the end here, didn't get it. It's actually a pretty hard one to get. I'm not sure what the trick is. I think it's something with the angle at which you land, but it feels inconsistent to me anyway. So up next we got level 19, Ruination. So this is actually a super difficult level. But not even because it's supposed to be, it's just difficult because the level design is completely the same as the original level design. Like the space between the platforms is all exactly the same as the original Crash Bandicoot 2. Notice I do slide jumps around these nitro. I'll get back to that in a second. But yeah, so the level design, the platforms are spaced in a way that is convenient for original Crash 2 physics, but they do not translate to NST. So that's what makes this level difficult, is that the platforming is very awkward with the physics for NST. Not the actual level. Although this bonus also is full of glitches, and we didn't get any here, but maybe next time. And also in this section right here, the Z-axis is unlocked. So if you tap up or down a little bit too much, you just fall off and die. Especially troublesome here, but we had a clean ending, so it was all good. Back to those nitro from before. So we have this thing called nitro RNG. So there's a chance, well, that the nitros just jump up, and it happens pretty often. Not really a known pattern. We just think it's RNG. When and where it'll happen, well, the where is the nitro, but when it'll happen is completely RNG as far as we know. But they just jump super high, so you cannot just jump over them. You have to jump around them or super high over them. You can't just jump, or else you risk getting killed when the RNG jump up. So that's something that we just have to deal with throughout the run, anytime there's any nitro anywhere. And that's Ruination. cool level. There's a second gem that you get from the green gem route, but we will be getting that as a 1 cycle with the time trial later. The most important thing in this level was to leave it with 2 masks, which we did successfully. And so the next level we got coming up here is Hanging Out, level 16. And it's very important for us to enter that level with 2 masks, because the triple mask form you get inside of that level is a huge time save. So right here at the start of this level, there's gonna be a flamethrower guy that we do a specific skip for. So you just kind of do the specific angle that I just hit as you slide spin, and you go right underneath him, and you just spin all those guys safely. So I try to go through this tunnel very safely, because I really don't want to lose any of my masks right here, because like I said, that triple mask form is super valuable, especially in this level. So we just try to avoid all these spiky dudes. Like I said before, you can't spin them or anything, and if you notice, there's only lava at the bottom, so you don't want to drop down, at least not for now. And here's our triple mask form, very nice, and just break through that entire stack, no problem. Get that. So now we're not gonna take the monkey bars. We're actually just gonna run along these lava pipes, super fast. That's why this triple mask form is such a huge time save. And yeah, it lasts like all the way up until here. We can get that crystal later. So this is the worst bonus in the game, hands down. Guess what? Nitro RNG. Yeah, it's a thing. Notice the way I slide jump up and around that nitro to avoid it entirely. And I'm very sad about this. This is just a thing. This is just the worst bonus. It's indisputable. I'm pretty sure everyone agrees that there is no bonus that is worse than this one. This is just the definition of unfun. So you just body slam that, and then you just kind of maneuver your way around all of these silly nitro and TNT, and then you have this section with the bouncy crates. We don't have any consistent way of spin bouncing, so we just have to use this method, which is okay, but it's slow for sure. So we made it through. It's pretty nice for us. Now we just have to go to the ending here, trigger this nitro detonator, move back a little bit to not get hit by those nitro if you don't have a mask. If you do have a mask, you'd have to get rid of all of them right now. So we just grab the box gem here, and then we death abuse, because there's a secret exit we have to take in this level. And also don't forget that we forgot the crystal. Well, we didn't forget it, we just left it for now. And so now we go through here. So these are the fastest moving spiky dudes. The intended way for you to do this is to press circle or R1 to kind of crouch your legs up, pick your legs up, so that they can't hit you as they pass through you, but that's slow. So instead I just like weave between them and stop at the safe spots. So we just unlocked level 27, the second secret level, but we're not gonna do it yet. We're gonna do it later when we have speed shoes as well. We're just gonna go up the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup for now, and go back up to Warp 4. Alright, so here's level 17, digging it. This is the other B level. This is the, I guess the easier one. Theoretically easier. It's definitely harder for the speedrun, but it's supposed to be easier for the casual player. But it's chock full of hop slides. So as you can imagine, that makes it difficult to do fast, because it takes good execution, and but the nice thing about, okay, I messed up there by accidentally hitting the mask box and the nitro at the same time. So I'm gonna damage abuse through these 2 electric fences right here, so I don't have to wait for that. But now I have no masks, anymore, so I have to be careful. There's a death route in this level, so I told you guys I would explain what that is. This is a really quick bonus. Just break these boxes and break these metal crates, body slam, break those. So these teams, you just have to break the bottom 2 boxes in both of these stacks. I broke a little bit too much, but it's okay. So a death route is a platform which only shows up if you haven't died in the level up until you get to it. So you see this is the death route platform right here, and then this entire thing, it's called the death route, and you can only unlock it. The platform only exists if you haven't died in the level, at least after getting the first checkpoint. So I try to get this little bonk hop slide right here. It takes me a couple tries, but I get it. Notice I have hop slide movement speed now. That was really lucky that I didn't fall down right there. What I was touching on before is that the little beehives that one bee comes out of are easy to get a hop slide off of. As I say that, I don't get the hop slide off of it. There's a little bit of scenery right there you can hop slide off of. I went for it, but it's not the most consistent piece of scenery, so I don't try more than once. But it's cool if you get it, you know? Also, notice how I jumped before I spun that box. It's because it's on the pink ground. So if you just press spin, you'll burrow. But if you jump and then spin, you're good. So we did that little skip to get back into this death route from the backside. Trigger hop slide off that beehive. Grab this checkpoint, these 3 boxes. So now we've gotten everything in the death route. First we went in just for those 2 boxes at the start, past the nitro field. Now we got these 3, or these 4 rather, and the gem. Now we do a little skip again and grab this checkpoint. No big deal. Got a hop slide off that hill. Try to trigger a new one. I go back. I was a little upset I didn't get it, so I went for the second one. Pretty nice. Ooh, I got to chain this one all the way to the end. That's really nice. That's a beautiful chain. It feels really good to get to carry that all the way to the end, you know? Alright, so we death abuse after getting our box gem. And here's the last secret exit. Right here, you actually get it by killing this plant right here, and this platform just teleports you out. And this secret exit unlocks Road to Ruin, the secret entrance, which we used the skip to get to before. So we don't actually need to use this entrance, but unlocking it gives us a percentage point, so we have to do that anyway. So now we take our ride back up. We'll be back in Warp 6 soon enough. When we have the speed shoes anyway. Going back up to Warp 4. And it's time for Cold Hard Crash, level 18. This is the final snow level, the hardest one for sure. It's a little bit easier in this run than it is in 100%, but it's I'd say it's about the same level of difficulty actually. It's just slightly less annoying, I guess. So this first section is just a little bit long, a lot of boxes that you kind of have to be creative to break all of them. I did a nice little staircase walk there. And just kind of continuously slide on the ice. Be careful not to die on that little slab of ice. And that's the first section. Now the second section, so there are going to be 3 mask boxes throughout this level. We're trying our hardest to keep all of our masks as we go through here. Go through this bonus. This is a pretty simple bonus, it's just a lot of TNT. Just triggering just 1 TNT will explode each of these big sections. Now we just let all these icicles fall before we continue through. Go right past that porcupine, trigger that, which unlocks this staircase right here, and then be careful for these penguins because penguins have awful hitboxes. And this is the death route. So this death route is pretty cool, but it's got a lot of ice, which means a lot of ice physics, which means very high chance of you dying for no reason of your own. No fault of your own, I should say. So there's the triple mask. So this is really convenient for us, especially in this section right here, because this is just a bunch of nitro. So you can just run right through it basically, well, slide right through it, I should say, continuously slide. Trigger that exclamation point box, and then we just turn around. We're gonna completely ignore that gem for now. We're gonna get it during the time trial later. That's gonna be another 1 cycle. So we just we just go right back through here. So that exclamation point box unlocked this 1 box for us. That's literally what it was for, just that 1 box. And now we exit the death route and go back through the regular level. I accidentally went too fast, so I went back to that box. Body slam this stack right here. Trigger that TNT, that breaks all those. Trigger that one. Get through here. Do a little bonk slide. I didn't get it. I tried, but it didn't happen. Careful for this penguin. Nice checkpoint. All 4 of these unlock those 4 boxes. Again, we're just careful for these penguins here. It's really the biggest mask stealer in this level is the penguin hitboxes. And that's that section. Now we're down to the final section of this level. Grab the crystal here. We're just gonna land on one of these TNT to trigger, and it'll break all 4 of those. Just break all 3 of these boxes. Very cool. Break that, get through here, avoid that penguin. Don't let that metal crate fall on you because it'll actually damage you. And try to trigger a hop slide on the ending here. We got it, very nice. Tried to get another one, didn't get the one off of the little platform, but that's cool. It was a very good cold hard crash overall. That's definitely the longest level in the run. But it's mostly just because you basically have to go through the death route twice, back and forth, you know. And it's just 3 really long sections. Alright, so here's boss number 4, Dr. Engine. So this is a pretty, this is like a legit boss. Like this guy, the rest of them have all been very easy, but this one's actually really hard. If you don't know what you're doing, it's hard to figure out, and it's a pretty long fight regardless whether you're good at it. We like to take masks into it for one of the strats later. I'll get into it when we get to it. There's a fast strat you can do where you kill both of these arms at the same time, but it's really hard to do, and I'm pretty sure it's RNG based. None of the runs that anyone has submitted right now, I'm pretty sure, as far as I know, none of the runs have double arm. So, and like, at least from the people I've spoken to, I don't think anyone thinks it's consistent. I don't think anyone even has like a strat that they try to do. Maybe some people have vague ideas, but I get it sometimes, but it feels super inconsistent for me as well. But other than double arm, you cannot get double shoulder. It's impossible because unlike the arms, as soon as one of the shoulders dies, they both close. Like that. And so this is the second phase, just have to kill the second shoulder. Okay, and now we're gonna have the third phase. So this is where the mask comes into play. So we just 1 cycle this last phase here by doing all 4 Wumpa Fruit damage and then immediately jumping. So the mask we use to damage abuse so we could stay on the platform after he shoots his beam. And it allows us to do all 4 hits of damage required to finish the fight. And then we just jump off at the end. So that's Engine. And now we go into Warp 5, which is fun stuff. Actually very much like Warp 5. Jetpack levels can be annoying, but it's better than Warp 3. So here's the jetpack level, level 24 pack attack. There's 2 jetpack levels. They both come out of the blue, completely out of nowhere. There's nothing at all about jetpacks in the entire game. And now here we are, the last warp of the game, jetpacks. Cool. So this is the harder one of the 2. But we're doing it first because of routing. There's a mask in this level, so we kind of want to use that mask. That's basically the idea. So in this level, you basically just fly around and you avoid all the lasers and the hot pipes and whatever else, you know, loose wires, stuff like that, these floating bomb things, this electric scientist dudes, and you just have to know where to go. You have to know what cycles to hit, and just try your hardest not to get hit. Notice I do a second spin after I spin this electric dude. It's actually gives you a little speed boost, which is a cool little strat. But it only works like right after you hit one of these scientist dudes. If you spin a second time, you get a little bit of a speed boost. I don't really know why, but yeah. So we get that crystal. This is the end of the level actually. We're able to damage abuse because we're gonna get another mask in the next level. And I really didn't feel like waiting for that cycle, so that's pretty much what happened there. So that's level 24, pack attack. And up next, we got level 23, night fight. So night fight is a jungle level, kind of like Turtle Woods or whatever, but it's in the dark. And unlike Crash 1, where the dark levels gave you Aku Aku masks that lit up, you just get fireflies here. You get this hop slide right here, you get to skip that first hole, it's some cool stuff. You can just spin these opossums, they're not a big threat. Get a hill slide there, very nice. Nice snipe into those boxes, grab that checkpoint. There's a death route in this level, but we actually don't use it. We're just gonna go in through the backside, so it doesn't actually matter if you die in terms of the death route. These spiky dudes, you can't jump on them or spin them or anything. You just have to avoid them at all costs. And that lizard dude, he has a spiky neck, so you have to slide into him to kill him. And so we do the bonus here. It's a pretty simple bonus, but it feels nice to go through. Notice that Nitro almost killed me, that's why I slide jump over it. And you slide underneath these. Very, very important to keep both of my masks, so I'm being careful. And right here, they're gonna trigger this backwards hill slide and then go wrap around onto the left. This is the death route now. And all we're gonna get is these 2 boxes and that's it. So there's a gem in the death route too. If you know anything about 100%, you know we go all the way back for the gem there. But the cool thing about 102 is that you just get those 2 boxes and we can get the gem during the time trial as a 1 cycle. So we just trigger that, get a little hop slide here, and that is night fight. So yeah, it's pretty cool how many 1 cycles we actually have found so far. Okay, so here's level 22, the other jetpack level, the quote-unquote easier one, Rocket. So this one, it's easier, but it's not like you have to do more maneuvering to kind of move around and get the boxes. So the real difficulty in the jetpack levels is the controls. Like they're just really awkward. So the whole thing about them is getting a feel for the controls is like how you get mastery of these levels. And I guess that's kind of what they were forcing onto you here by making all these boxes kind of awkwardly all around the place. Is like giving you the chance to learn how to control yourself on the jetpack. So I guess I kind of understand. But yeah, that was a cool double box spin right there. Get the checkpoint down here, and then we go up for that box. Really easy to miss that if you go down. Really easy to miss this box too. It's like they just have all these tricks all over the place because the camera just doesn't show you the entire scene if you're too high up or too high down. I'm not sure if that was the intention, if that was like their artificial difficulty here or what, but that's how it is anyway. Definitely my first few several runs. Can you even say that? Whatever. My first several runs, I would definitely miss boxes here and there because of that. All right, so that's Rocket. Now we do my favorite level, level 21, Piston It Away. This is actually a really hard level, but as long as you bring the 2 masks into it, you get this triple mask, which makes it super nice. Makes it a very smooth level. Because having mask form makes all these pistons just stay in their up position, so you don't have to wait for any cycles or anything. I get a little bonk slide right there. I do like a body slam strat to get all the boxes that are super high up there. I tried to hop slide right there, but I didn't quite get it. I keep saying I didn't quite get it. Alright, so I didn't mean to take that damage, but it actually worked out for me because that kept that piston up, so I didn't have to wait for that cycle. So it wasn't the worst thing to happen. We don't have to break those boxes, the nitros will break them. So these tentacle bots have the worst hitboxes probably in the game. Some of them switch forms. When their legs are up, you can only spin or slide into them. When their legs are down, you can only jump on them. But when they're switching forms, it's very unclear where their hitbox actually is, and it's inconsistent. Well, I say inconsistent, but it's inconsistent with the way they look, but it's like a consistent whatever. It works the same way every time, so it's consistent in that sense, but it doesn't make sense with what you're seeing. It doesn't line up properly with the reality of the visuals, so it's difficult to deal with as a new player anyway. So yeah, this was a tough bonus, but we made it through. I intentionally break that first set of nitro boxes because it takes too long to try to maneuver around them otherwise, and also there's a chance even if you do maneuver around them that the nitro RNG just gets you anyway. So yeah, I wait for this guy because I want to keep my mask, and that's the death route. So I neglected to mention before, there's a death route in this level, so that adds to the difficulty that you can't die until you get to this point. So we had to do like backtracking even. This is all cool stuff. This death route's a little bit harder than the regular level. Just 3 tentacle bots. A nice hitbox already. So these tall boys, you gotta slide into them in case that wasn't clear. And yeah, you just wait for these cycles to line up, grab that gem, go up and slide into that tall boy, wait for that cycle, bounce on this guy, and then hit that nitro detonator. It should have all 69 boxes. Grab the last gem. Very cool, that's Piston It Away. So there's just one more level left in Warp 5. And it's the last level, it's level 25, spaced out. Very cool. So spaced out, it's the same theme as Piston It Away that we just did. It's just harder in a lot of ways, easier in others, but yeah. So there are 2 gems in this level, but we're just gonna get 1 in this pass. We're just gonna get the box gem. We'll get the bonus gem later. See that blue gem platform? We're just ignoring it for now. Here you just have to wait on these cycles. It's just it's a real test of your patience, this level, that's what it is. And also a real test of the hitboxes. But yeah, all these nitro, these pushing guys, these tall boys, these tentacle bots, it's just a lot to deal with, especially for an inexperienced player. So I feel like this level does a good job of being the last level of the game. So the twist on this bonus is that these pistons, I guess, they work the opposite of the way you expect. Like they're effective in their down position instead of their up position. Like in the piston away bonus, they were good for you to travel when they were in their up position, but in this bonus they're good for you when they're in their down position. So it's counterintuitive. But once you figure it out, it's not bad. So the rest of this level is actually pretty smooth. There's a nice glitch here, which you just saw me do. When you slide off that ledge, it kills that tall boy somehow. Consistent also, so that's really nice. Alright, hit that shield dude. And go for this hop slide at the end. I didn't get it, but it's fine. So that's spaced out. Very nice. So that's the end of Warp 5, the first pass. Now we're gonna fight the last boss of the game, Dr. Cortex, Dr. Neo Cortex, the arch nemesis of Crash Bandicoot. You know, the staple rival of the series. It's obviously gonna be a super difficult boss fight. Notice I wait a second before I answer again because I'm avoiding that glitch that I had touched on earlier. So here he is, and guess what? You're on the jetpack, so I hope you learned everything you needed to in those 2 levels. Haha. But yeah, so you just maneuver, and you just whenever you get close enough to him, you just spin him. So he has 3 hit points or life points, what have you. So I just have like really nice movement here to get to the fastest possible time of hitting him, and yeah, so you just spin him 3 times before he gets to the end of this little field, and then that's it. You get speed shoes. I don't know why this last boss is so easy compared to like Engine, for example, but I will say I had difficulty with this boss as a child, and I definitely failed it a lot as a casual player in NST, but it's still way easier than Engine. So I don't know what to say about it. But yeah, that's Cortex. So now we have the speed shoes, excuse me. So the speed shoes are really nice. So you hold R2 or whatever that button is on whatever controller you're using, and you just run really fast now. So now we're gonna go collect all the relics that we have here. So here's spaced out again, but the first pass, we're not getting the relic just yet. We're getting the gem, the bonus gem. So we're gonna take this blue gem platform, but it's actually not just a blue gem route, it's actually all 5 color gems being used here. And these are some nice... I actually worked really hard to get some nice speed strats for this level here, but for some reason I completely spaced out right over here, which I guess is fitting for the name of the level because it's named Spaced Out, but I completely forgot what I was doing, and I ended up doing the slower strats that we used to do, which is kind of upsetting, but it's okay because they're still not that slow. They're just old strats though, but it's fine because I didn't die either, right? So that's always the best time save. But yeah, so you just go through here, and then you go to the ending here, you trigger a little hop slide at the end, you grab this gem, and then you restart the time trial to teleport yourself back to the start of the level. And now we go through the regular part of the level to get the gold or platinum relic. So do this cool little strat here. So we slide into that guy, and it lets us skip that cycle, and we skip this cycle too. So that's a strat that I found. I don't know who else does it now, but like it's cool stuff. Really enjoy that one. It makes the level so much faster. It's actually like it was a huge time save when I found it. And then yeah, you just kind of go through here. The rest of the level is pretty smooth, pretty safe. Definitely a little nerve-wracking to go through this level without a mask, because it feels like anything can get you at any time. Notice here I'm just standing still because of that, because of those nerves which I was just referring to. But yeah, that's the whole level. So the time we had to beat was 109.24 for gold. We finished it in 47.83, like not even close. Like that's how fast those strats are that we found. So obviously a platinum. So that's spaced out. Now we go through the rest of Warp 5, going for the rest of the relics. So in the jetpack levels, the speed shoes don't save you much time, if any at all. Like it's just the beginning and the end of the level where it affects your movement. The beginning, you don't even have the clock yet, but in real time, it obviously it might save some very minute amount of time. And yeah, if you get a hob slide at the end, I don't even think it saves any time. I think it's the same speed maybe, if you're hob sliding with or without speed shoes, but I'm not 100% sure on that. They seem very similar though. If there is a difference, it's slight. It's nice that they gave you a mask in this time trial, because there are a lot of obstacles that could randomly hit you. Although typically I don't end up using it. I end up like saving it just in case for the end, in case I get a bad cycle on the last part. Like I could have used it here because I had a bad cycle here, right? But I don't know, for some reason in my mind I'm thinking that this last cycle is the most important to make, but then I ended up not even needing it at the end, so I just didn't make use of this mask. So slide spin here, I mean, yeah, get the hob slide at the end like I was talking about, and it's another platinum relic, very nice. So that's pack attack off the list. Alright, so now we're gonna go into Night Fight, level 23. So this one, remember we left that gem in the death route. So now we're gonna go, when we run through doing the time trial, we're gonna go into the death route and go grab that gem, and then we're gonna finish in time for the gold or platinum relic anyway. So I didn't risk that whole skip because I feel like it's not worth it at this point. I don't know if that logic makes any sense, because in that case it wouldn't be worth it the other time either, but I don't know. Something about the time trial feels different. So yeah, it's really nice. You move really fast with just slide jumping. I touched on this before, but to refresh your memory, with speed shoes on, with holding R2 with that extra movement speed, slide jumping is the fastest form of movement that is not hop sliding. So before we had speed shoes, the fastest form of movement was slide spinning, but now it's slide jumping. So we're just slide jumping everywhere if we don't get a hop slide. We'll slide spin just to hit enemies or boxes or something, but yeah, that's about it. It's actually very nice to have slide jumping be the fast movement too, because you have a lot more control over crash in the slide jump animation, as opposed to the slide spin where you only have control during the slide, and then the second half, the spin part, you just maintain whatever direction you were in before, basically. So it's just nice. But yeah, that was the one cycle. Okay, so here's level 22, Rocket. It's a nice and easy time trial. Again, the speed shoes will only affect the beginning and ends, but I mean, it's something, I guess. The thing about this time trial is they don't give you a mask in this one, and I guess that's, I guess that makes sense because it's easier, quote unquote, but it's still, you can still die pretty easily, honestly. Like, yeah, it's easier than pack, but look how close I was to dying just then. Like, my feet probably touched those explosives, I feel. I don't know. In either case, there is no mask here, so there's a high risk in this time trial. So just keep in mind as we're doing the time trials that no matter which part of the level you die at, you will respawn all the way at the beginning. So that is something that adds a lot of pressure the further you go into a level. Alright, just finishing that up. We try to trigger a hop slide on this ring again. We got it, very nice. And that is platinum. Very cool. Alright, and now we're all done with jetpacks for this speedrun. Now it's just time for piston it away. Level 21. So this is actually a really hard time trial. I know piston it is my favorite level, but it's still super hard. There's no denying that. They barely give you any masks in this time trial, so you have to be super careful and super precise. Like that, yeah, they give you this one right here, but like that's basically the only one you have to work with, at least for a while. I don't remember if there's a second one. I think there might be, but it's not for a while anyway. You have to wait on the cycle unless you damage abuse, but if you damage abuse, then you have a risky run after that, you know? Okay, no, yeah, I think there is a mask right there, yeah. Yeah, so they give you 2 in this level, in this time trial. So now I have 2 masks, so I feel pretty safe. So I can just kind of like jump around, not really paying attention to what I'm doing. But yeah. Very careful with this guy, because if you get pushed by him, you fall right into the hole. And I'm already a minute and a half into this. So that'll be quite unfortunate to die at the end of the level like that. Get a hop slide at the last bit to go through that tunnel. 113, not bad. I feel like 113 is kind of slow, but I had to wait on a couple cycles, so it makes sense. And that is the end of Warp 5 for this speedrun. So now we move back on down to Warp 4 and get those relics. So we're gonna start with Hanging Out, which is the hardest relic, the tightest time relic. This is definitely the hardest one to get gold on. It's not hard for me anymore, but it's, just trust me when I say it's the hardest one. And it took me forever, my first few runs. Like, I definitely had runs where it took me a literal hour to get just this one relic. But I've got it pretty figured out at this point. I play that safe because there's no need to take that risk. You'll still make it to the end. I'll probably still get a platinum, even with like taking that part a little safe. So you spin that, and then I had good cycles here, so I just stayed on the monkey bars. But if you have bad cycles after that one box, then you can just jump down and do a little lava skip and jump back up onto a later part of the hangrail. But yeah, they give you another mask here, but it's all the way at the end, so I think it's pretty troll for them to give you a mask there. Like okay. Nice little hob slide at the end. 52.95, definitely a platinum. So you see, like, I have it down to a science at this point, but trust me when I say that relic is super hard and the time is super tight. And in stark contrast to that idea is Digging It, level 17, which has a super loose time trial. You could not do any speed tech, just run through the whole level while holding R2 for speed shoes, and you will get the platinum. They really didn't, I don't know why that is, but you definitely don't need any of the time boxes in this time trial at all. I go back for that mask because I want it to be safe. Basically, there's no way I'm gonna die in this level, but why risk it? You just basically, I just try to trigger as many hop slides as I possibly can, because that's how you save real time in these trials, especially in a level like this where there's a lot of flat ground where you can carry the slide for a while. I try to get this bonk slide. I got it, there it is. Okay, I dropped it there, a little unfortunate. So while we don't have the hop slide going, we just slide jump, but try to trigger that one, didn't get it, so we switch back to slide jumping. And that's basically how it goes. That's the general idea behind movements in time trials. That you will generally slide jump, occasionally slide spin to deal with an enemy or something, but preferred movement speed is the hop slide, secondary is the slide jump, and tertiary is the slide spin. So pretty much anytime you see me slide spinning, it's an attempt to trigger a hop slide. But yeah, that was Digging It. So now we're up to level 18, Cold Hard Crash. This time trial is also really easy. Well, beating the level without dying is not particularly easy. I just mean getting to the end in time for the gold is easy. Whether or not you survive to the end is hard, yeah. But basically, you don't need any of the time boxes. The only boxes I go for are the mask boxes, because you can get a triple mask form. Okay, and here my slide input got dropped. So I was trying to slide jump there, and it gave me a regular jump, so I died. So that's the explanation for that one. I tried to do a hop slide over there, like a hill slide, I didn't get it. It's fine though. Luckily, that dropped input was very close to the start of the level, so I lost like maybe 15 seconds or less. Hopefully less, but yeah. So like we slide jump when we can here, and then just kind of be careful for these icicles. hit that guy, get that thing, get this second mask right here. Careful for these penguin hitboxes as usual. And we take the death route. Remember we didn't get that gem before. I told you it was gonna be a 1 cycle. This is a 1 cycle, so we're going through the death route, and we're gonna grab this triple mask to get through this nitro section really smoothly. Again, same strategy, just spamming slide, just continuously sliding. It's the fastest form movement on ice. And then we just get that gem right there, and then we just power on through the end of the level. It's nice and easy. Very free flowing time trial this one is. And the time for gold, you can see on my splits, it's 2:06:07. It's this is the end of the level right here, and I'm like not even at 130, you know? So it's just really nice. And you can trigger this hop slide at the end here. Like I got barely any time boxes. Like all the ones I got were by accident. And I got the platinum, you know, like it's like a very free time. I just lost about 15 seconds to that death where my input was dropped, but you know, these things happen. Now Ruination is a very hard time trial. This one typically gives me a lot of anxiety. I've died in this time trial almost every single run I've done. There have only been a couple, like a handful, where I haven't died in this. But this is where we do a 1 cycle. This is more of like a real challenging 1 cycle. Again, I mentioned this before, but the platforming, oh my goodness, I almost died over there. But yeah, the platforming in this level is awkward. As you can see right there, I over jumped a little bit. So like I said, die in this every time. But yeah, I touched on this when I was doing my first pass through Ruination. So the spacing between the platforms is designed, it's designed for the Crash 2 OG physics. So with NST physics, it's very, very awkward. We don't take the gem platform, we just skip over like that because fast, and we just kind of like run through here. We give that fire a little bit of space. Then we run through, we spin any barrels or logs rather that these apes are throwing at us, or yetis, whatever those are. Then we just kind of run through here, just do our thing, you know, big jumps, small jumps, whatever it takes. And then we grab this gem, ride that green gem out of there. And then we just go finish up, just go all the way to the end of the level. You can grab this third mask, get some quick bongos. Doesn't really make a difference, but it's nice for that barrel. I keep saying barrel, I meant log. So yeah, that's the 1 cycle, Ruination. That's more of like a real 1 cycle, where it provides an actual challenge. So it's very nice stuff. I wasn't able to make it my first few runs of this. It's obviously free for me now that I'm so experienced and a top runner of this game category, but it's definitely very difficult for newcomers. So behaving is a kind of a free one, kind of like digging it. The time itself isn't free, I just mean that the level style is free. And when I say free, please take it with a grain of salt. It's obviously not free, but it's free compared to things that are actually difficult. It's like the whole level is just you slide jumping around and hop sliding in the occasional moment when it's possible. If you don't know how to hop slide, then it's literally just entirely you slide jumping around, you know, like it's not there's no actual, there was the skip I was talking about before where I glitch high jumped over the fence. I told you it was possible. I got electrocuted in the box pass, but I did it that time, so I'm happy you were able to see it. So yeah, this level you're literally just jumping around. It's it feels almost like art. It's you know, it's free form. You're just out here having a good time. It's like a nice little break from reality right here in this level. From the harsh realities of the harsh time trials. But don't get me wrong, you fall in one of those holes and it's over for you. But yeah, that's behaving level 20. So that will conclude warp 4 for us. Now we just have warp 3 and lower remaining to get through, to finish up our 102% excursion. So coming up next is going to be level 15, Unbearable, which is actually one of the more difficult time trials. Not to beat the time or anything, but just how technically challenging it is. Because of the sheer amount of hob sliding that you can possibly do. Well, it's like this first one. Okay, first of all, that whole skip is pretty difficult, so don't laugh at me for that one. But anyway, you have to chain. You can chain this one for a while. If you get a good cycle, you get it through that fence. I mean, this is the backup one. I mean, there's barely any time you spend in this level not hob sliding, I guess is what I should say. Like right here, that was probably the longest not hop sliding part of the level. And the rest of it, like, you could chain this one for a while. Like, I dropped it on that fence somehow, but I can pick it back up on that hill. Got that backwards hill slide. Playing it a little safe by dropping it, but you could keep it chaining going through there. And you get this one. I play this little safe. I drop it early. And go around here. Avoid these lizards. Backwards hill slide. Again, electric fences give you anxiety, so play it just a tiny bit safe, you know? Just a little bit safe. And then this last part with riding polar, I've done this so many times, it's just not even funny how easy it is for me, but I assure you it's difficult the first few times. Try to trigger a hop slide off that scenery slide, and then another one off this little thing. Yeah, nice, I got both of them. Very nice. So that's Unbearable. It was pretty nice, other than my death in the first hole at the start. It was a pretty good Unbearable. Alright, now moving on. Going back into Road to Ruin. Remember, we skipped the Death Route gem earlier. So now we're gonna go get it. I don't know if I said that properly. We're gonna go get it. I meant to say. Okay, so the level itself is pretty free. Like, there's like a negative amount of challenge in completing this level. I hope I don't die or something now that I've said that. But it's like, the level itself is not hard, but like getting this skip can be difficult. Right here, you just glitch high right across. So that's like the faster version of the skip that you can do with speed shoes, and that's why we do it during the time trial as a one cycle. It saves about 2 seconds or something. Because you can do it without speed shoes, but it's like a slightly different skip. It's the same idea though, you just get over there when you're not supposed to be able to get over there and skip the entire death route, but that's what it is anyway. But we got it here. Feels pretty bad to die trying to go for that, because it saves like 2 seconds, so you lose like a minute if you die there, all to save 2 seconds. I don't know if I would do this at GDQ. I would probably not do it unless I feel a lot more comfortable with it then, because the 2 seconds isn't worth it. But yeah, here's bear down. So we only got the crystal before. We're gonna do a 1 cycle, a more traditional 1 cycle where you get all the boxes, kind of like we did with Totally Bear. But yeah, it's pretty fun stuff. Grab this box and the clock at the same time, and then we go through and we collect every single box, and then at the end there will be the gem and we'll get the relic. So it's a pretty straightforward level. There's just the one thing right here. You clip over these guys on the left side. It's really cool because if you go fast, if you go even remotely fast, that cycle is impossible to beat. Like the moment you pass through those 2 guys, they're in the middle of moving the block of ice or metal, whatever it is, from up to down. Okay, so what happened there, I can explain this. So ice physics on the polar levels are very bad. So I was a victim of ice physics right there, and then I was like, well, that sucks. I guess I must be slow now. So I assumed that I was going too slowly to pass underneath those 2 guys, and I tried to jump over them, but apparently I had still gone just fast enough for them to not lower the block of ice yet, so I died. And it's a little unfortunate, but that's my explanation. And like I said, deaths in the time trials are punishing. That wasn't too far in, but it was far enough to feel bad, you know? But it's okay. But yeah, this level's pretty straightforward. As long as none of your inputs get dropped, you can consistently get the same cycles every time. And yeah, you just... That's that. Got all the boxes. You spin this to get those last 2 nitro. And just grab that gem. And... yeah. Very nice. So that's the bear down 1 cycle. So up next is Sewer or Later. So actually, there is a 1 cycle for Sewer or Later, but I think it's ridiculously tight, so I don't go for it. And it saves like a ridiculously small amount of time too. So you might be telling me like, but you do the Road to Ruin 1 cycle, that saves 2 seconds. Like, yeah, it does, but it's way easier and way more consistent than this 1 cycle. The 1 cycle in this level is it's just, I don't even think it's worth mentioning, honestly. Like, I don't know why I mentioned it, but it's just, I just want to say that it exists and I know about it, but I don't go for it. I don't think it's worth it. It barely saves any time, and it's super risky because of how inconsistent it is. You have to not miss any hop slides at all throughout the entire level, and you can see right there I missed one, or like I dropped it. So I don't know. But yeah, that's Sewer or Later. It's a pretty cool time trial actually. Like, you just kind of weave through the obstacles until you can manage to get 3 masks, and then you can just kind of run through the rest of it without any issue. And now we're back to Plant Food, level 11. This will finish up Warp 3 for us. And I'm happy to get out of Warp 3, because it's definitely the worst one. So now with Speed Shoes, you can glitch high all the way across. You don't even need that middleman platform, which is pretty cool. And we avoid a good suck here by going straight on the right. I go a little bit left on that one, left on this one, so you don't get the nitro. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward. This time isn't too tight, but It can be if you mess up at all. You definitely want to have at least one mask when you reach this point, so you can just damage abuse through these plants. If you have no masks, then you have to go around and kill all 3 plants like I had to in my box pass, and that makes the time extremely tight. And yeah, it's just better to you know, keep your masks, avoid that trouble altogether. So yeah, that's plant food. Now we're all done with warp 3, and we're actually gonna skip warp 2 for now. We're just gonna go straight down to warp 1, and the reason for that will be explained shortly. But just note that we're skipping warp 2, and we go straight down to warp 1. And we already have the Turtle Woods relic, so we just have to get the 4 remaining relics. So we're gonna start with Crash Dash level 5. So this is the nice clock they got there. I go for that bonk slide right there on the side of the tunnel. Very nice that I got it. Just kind of slide jump around, go for another bonk slide. Nice. Yeah, and just keep it chaining until we hit a hole, and then we just start slide jumping again. And that's basically how it goes. Until we hit this hill, so now we get the backwards hill slide, and we can chain this one for a while. Oh, but I got caught in the wall or something there. Unfortunate. Yeah, so the rest of this is pretty straightforward. We just don't hit these electric fences, and then we hop slide off this scenery at the end. Yep. Very good. Not a bad Crash Dash at all. Okay, up next we got the pits. The pits is always a cool one because, you know, the level's full of hop slides like we saw in the first pass. Although the first pass is a lot cooler, I think, because you have the triple mask form, so you don't have to jump over the birds and you can just chain the slides through them, but it's still pretty cool. Get this hill slide here. Yeah, just run through here, another hill slide, jump over the bird. Just slide jump until we get to this hill. Get that scenery slide right there. Another scenery slide on the left here. Chain this one all the way through. This is a nice one. Feels good to chain that all the way. Nothing for a little while. Jump over these birds. Hill slide. This is a long chain right here for sure. Okay, you should be able to skip that gap. Yep. Can hill slide through this entire section. Ooh, nice. We got that little skip. You can jump right off the gopher or whatever it is that shows up down there. Bonk slide. Nice bonk slide at the end. Yeah, that was a very, very clean pits. I like that one. Can you tell I spend a lot of time in warp 1? Okay. Enough with the jokes. Alright, onward to Hang 8, level 3. This is a very, very straightforward relic. Because this one has barely any hop slides. Just the one at the top step. Just the one here. And then there's another staircase like after this jetport section, and the speed shoes don't even affect the jetport section at all, right? So There's nothing you can do fast here, but yeah, you just like slide jump with the speed shoes around here. Another little staircase, you hop slide off the top step, but it's like a really short slide anyway. So this is just, there's not too much you can do to be fast in this level. Just, you know, speed shoe and slide jump. And then maneuver the jet board like you normally would. Just get to the end as fast as you possibly can. Go for this last hop slide. But again, like I said before, it's very inconsistent. So that's hang gate. Very nice. So up next we got Snow Go, which will be our last Warp 1 relic. So the clock's up there. We just gotta avoid these pesky penguin hitboxes. Actually, this time is a little bit tight compared to most. If you get that bonk hop slide, it might be worth it to go for those hole skips, but honestly, those hole skips don't feel like they're worth going for this late into the run. Like, they're fine to do at the start of the run because you can reset if you mess them up, but when you're all the way this deep into the run, you don't really want to go for hole skips like that. Because, nice little hop side there. Because it just feels really bad to be like, oh, I was trying to save 1 second with the hole skip, and then I lost 20 or 30, whatever it is over there. Nice little scenery slide, nice scenery slide through descending tunnel. Alright, very, very not bad Snow Go. Not bad at all. So now we're gonna go down to Warp 6. And we're finally gonna complete those levels we were ignoring earlier, that we talked about before. So first we're gonna do Totally Fly. You can't actually one cycle it because there's a bonus, and when you do a time trial, the bonuses are disabled. So, and also, even if it wasn't, I doubt you could do it fast enough. But anyway, so first we're just gonna run through and get all the boxes, get the gem, then we're gonna enter a second time to do the time trial. But, so Totally Fly is the second secret level, the 27th level of the game. And it's basically like Night Fight, which was level 23, up in Warp 5. It's the same exact idea, just like a Turtle Woods level, but in the dark. But now we have speed shoes, so we're like slide jumping all over the place. So it's a lot easier to deal with. And we're still hop sliding on hills where possible and stuff like that. But yeah, it's overall just slide jumping throughout the level. This bonus is really nice and simple too. It actually feels more like a bonus, like they're actually like giving you extra stuff than it less like a challenge, if you know what I mean. So just got this is the one tricky part. You gotta be careful about this dude. You want to trigger those TNT, and then there are these metal crates, so you gotta body slam them all. So that's the other trick here, is that this Firefly is gonna run out very soon, so you wanna body slam all these as soon as possible. I messed up here, accidentally body slammed that second one a little early, so I had to do that kind of in the dark, but it was fine. I didn't die, right? That's all that matters. So you got that gem, got the little scenery hop slide to go through the ending tunnel again. Okay, very nice. So we got that Totally Fly gem. So now we're gonna re-enter. We're gonna re-enter and get that relic. So this relic is actually a little tough because they don't give you any masks. So you just gotta be that little extra bit of careful, you know? Like I jump on that opossum. I don't spin him because if you spin him, he goes into those nitro and there's a chance they kill you. That's like one of those extra safety strats. And like there, I cut my hop slide short because I wanted to just jump over the guy. I got a nice little hop slide off that metal crate. That's a really cool one to get. And it's also very good because I was able to chain it for a little while there. So very nice time trial. Okay, so the last thing we have in Warp 6 here is the re-entry of Air Crash. Where we're gonna start out by doing this little secret entrance thing, where you get all the boxes that you weren't able to get when you entered the level from Warp 2. So this is still Air Crash level 7, but this is just coming in from a different entrance. Get this little this jetboard section to start us off. There's actually a pretty difficult section. We can avoid that one box because the nitro will blow it up, and that detonator, we just did that for us. And now we just go through the level trying to get all the boxes, like full completion. And the reason we do this now is because it's actually a lot faster with speed shoes to go through this level. There's a decent amount of the level where you're not on the jetboard, and it all adds up. It's a lot faster to do it now with the speed shoes than it is to do it before. Somewhere between 15 and 20 seconds, I believe it saves, which is very significant. So you do this bonus. This bonus is a lot harder than it looks, by the way. So if I die in this bonus, just keep that in mind. That's also a very hard box to hit. But yeah. So when that cycle doesn't line up, you can jump on that little rock. Very cool strat. Love jumping on that little rock. So you just jump out here and you break these 4 boxes. In the OG, they had a skip where if you took damage on the jetboard, these mines would push you up onto that platform and you could break those 4 boxes while on the jetboard, but it doesn't, that skip doesn't exist in NST, so we just have to do it the long way. So that's Air Crash. We should have all 102 boxes. And we're well on our way to 102%. There's just one more gem we have to get. So here's why we skipped Warp 2 earlier, because when you finish this level, you come out inside Warp 2. So we skipped the ride. So now we just re-enter Air Crash. Here's the final 1 cycle. We get the Relic and the Death Route gem at the same time. This is actually the last gem of the game. And then after that will just be a few relics and then we're done. So this is it's a kinda tight 1 cycle. Before, they actually changed the cycles when they re-released NST on multi-platform. Back when it was on PS4 only, first of all, you had to death abuse at the start of this level for better cycles, and second of all, even with that death abuse, the cycles weren't that good, and it was a pretty tight time trial. But now they changed the cycles a little bit, and so you don't have to death abuse first of all, but also it's just a lot less tight. So you don't have to worry about that as much, but it's still like a very unforgiving 1 cycle overall. It's definitely not beginner friendly. It's one of the harder ones. But yeah, the time is 1:01:01 for it. So I was well within reach, like 4 seconds off. Okay, cool. So that's the final gem. So there's gonna be a little Brio cutscene right here, where well, we skip it just like every other cutscene, but what he's trying to say is, oh, I see you have all the gems. Please come up and visit me. But we're gonna go collect our last 3 relics, because we already got Barret before, if you remember. So we just have Snowbiz, Crash Crush, and Eel Deal remaining. So right now we're in Snowbiz, level 6. And this time trial, the time is very free. I don't think you need any of the time boxes at all to get it. You just have to try not to get stomped or anything. Just avoid any major time loss, like real time. When I say time loss, I mean like long damage animations. It's pretty hard to actually die. But yeah, you just, you know, slide through the ice and then slide jump elsewhere. I got a quick little hop slide there. So that's one. Snow or ice to whatever other kind of terrain. Sometimes you just randomly get a hop slide off of that if you try to slide spin jump. That was a nice body slam. If you slide spin jump, you just get like I feel like it's a very inexplicable hop slide. I'm not really sure how it works. It would be like a 4th type, like not the 3 that I mentioned. It's not scenery, it's not hill, it's not bonking, but it's closest to bonking, but it's not really, you're not bonking on anything, but it's kind of just like you're canceling the animation of the slide spin jump, because the moment that you switch from ice to snow, it's like your animation gets, the timer gets reset so you can slide again. Oh, I guess someone followed me during the stream. Very nice. Okay, so this is Crash Crush. So again, this is probably one of the more risky time trial levels, because you don't get any masks. There are these electric fences, which, like I mentioned before, even as an experienced player, it's still very easy to die to them. I try to get this bonk slide over here. Very nice, I got it. You carry it until it's mine. I dropped it a little early, and I got hit by the mine anyway. Classic. So just be careful about these fences, and also just the very last hop slide at the end of this level is like super tricky. Fantastic. So it's coming up here, yeah. That's the last fence. And then this hop slide here, the backwards hill slide, it's like, yeah. You can see I got a little scared and I just jumped. I just bailed on it, because I was basically at the end already, but yeah, it's really scary. Because the last thing you want to do is die at the end of a time trial, at the end of your run. So now we got one final relic remaining, just level 10, the Eel Deal. And this is another free time. Again, when I say free, I mean you don't need to go out of your way for any time boxes or anything. If you just run through the level, you should get at least the gold. So I'm just being careful to not get hit by anything, like any of these fan blades or electric water or anything like that. Try to trigger a hop slide off the side here. Avoid getting hit by these sewer rats. Wait a little for that electric cycle. Try to trigger a hop slide on the side of these pipes. Just being careful here. Jumping around that guy, jumping around that guy. Okay. Avoid that cycle. Very nice. Jump. That was a pretty clean one. Alright, and then we just jump into the last section. So I like to do this lava skip down here. So this is actually a very tragic moment where I get embedded into the lava and I can't jump out again. So I distinctly remember this happening, and you can even see me be so upset that I stop moving for a second, and I instantly die as I retry this time trial, because it's literally the last time trial and I was on PB pace and I died at the end. But anyway, back on topic. So it just goes to show that it's never too late to get trolled. So the at the end, basically what it is I use the mask to damage abuse, I should say, and basically you jump into the lava, and then from the pipe on the left side of the lava, you slide jump back up onto the handrail, but at a further part. So instead of like wasting all my time climbing that handrail for like 10 seconds or whatever it takes to get to that part, I just skip it by jumping onto the lava like that. So that was how it was supposed to go the first time, but it is what it is. Would have been a PB if that last thing, if I didn't get embedded into the lava at the end there. So that's why I thought this run was appropriate, because it was just one really troll thing at the end that stopped this from being my best run ever. So I still think this is my best run ever. The time itself is slower technically than my PB, but I think these are almost all the new updated strats and stuff. So I think this is just like the best run I've ever done of 102. And yeah, we just go up the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, and the last cutscene trigger is the final split. So real time, that was 2 hours 20 minutes. Game time, 2 hours 7 minutes. Very nice. Very good stuff. Yeah, so that's Crash 2 NST 102%. I really love this game. I really love this category. 100% is also pretty cool, but 102 is always the one that's got my heart. Just a quick reminder that my first run took me 8 hours, and I swiftly improved. Well, I didn't know, there was nothing swift about my improvement, but I improved, and yeah, I'm a top runner now. It's crazy how these things happen. You know, you put in the practice, you get it. So I really love this game. I hope you guys take 102 in to be shown a GDQ, as you know, I get the feeling Crash 2 NST is coming next, since you guys had Crash 3 NST and Crash 1 NST. So I figured Crash 2 is up next on the chopping block, but it would just be a disservice to everyone to run it any percent, because the game is so clearly designed to be full completed. It's just such a beautiful game in full completion. Such a beautiful game. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I definitely did. I love you all. My name is Blunts Moses. Yeah. Peace.